Joby, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Hey, it's another day and another 2 bits is what I like to say.
Another 2 bits. Like
2 bits.
Half a penny or something?
That's what it's worth today.
Yeah.
2 bits, 4 bits, 6 bits a dollar is what it meant. So it's a quarter.
Yep.
So I'm up to a quarter now. And for every 60 quarters, I get a nickel.
Okay.
I'm trying to calculate the new.
I don't know the new math.
The new personal
worth of our value of our dollar.
Personal time off value there. So for every 60 quarters, I get a nickel.
Nickel. That makes sense.
Yeah. So, and thank you, Governor. Thank you, Governor.
Now, what did she do?
She's the one that passed the law
that said
that I have to give myself a nickel after every 60 quarters. Oh, that's right.
Okay, now I'm with you.
Yeah.
That took me a minute.
That's okay.
Kind of slow on the uptake.
Yeah. Well, have you been fishing lately?
Last weekend, which we talked about last Monday, I haven't fished since, although some of our members have down at Brantley, and boy, they're really, really biting down there. I'm hoping.
Are they?
Yeah, I'm hoping that there's water at the end of this month because we have our last 2 regularly scheduled tournaments the end of the month here in August. But before that, we have our last 2 individual tournaments. Those 2 in Brantley are going to be team tournaments. The last 2 individual tournaments are coming up this weekend over in Breckenridge, Texas at Hubbard Creek. And so looking forward to that. I got the email sent out to all our membership this morning and their invoices. And so anybody that's not a member and you want to fish Hubbard Creek with us, you still can. Just go to I almost said our church website. I've been working on about 50 things this morning. pvbm.club, and you can click on the join tab and join to fish with us. But yeah, we got Hubbard Creek coming up this week. It is 2 one-day individual tournaments, Saturday and Sunday. I'm going to fish. My plans as of this moment are to fish Saturday. I will be back Saturday night for church Sunday morning, but I plan on fishing the first day.
Mm-hmm.
My brother and I are going to fish together. One of us, I guess I'm going to be the boater because I'm taking my boat. Jeff will be the non-boater, but I'm looking forward to a big tournament. I sent out the invoices this morning, and almost instantly 2 guys paid. So they haven't. These 2 of our members haven't been able to be at our last 3 tournaments. So excited that they're going to get to go. They're new members this year, and they fished several tournaments with us, but the last 3 they haven't been able to get to. So looking forward to those guys fishing with us again.
Location on Sandy Creek, Hubbard Creek, and Brushy Creek in Stevens County.
Okay.
51 miles northeast of Abilene.
Yeah.
And about 5 miles west of Breckenridge.
Right.
Surface area is 14,922 acres. Maximum depth is 60 feet. And it was impounded in 1962.
Yeah, that's the lake. It's a good big one.
Current lake level, let's see, the conversation. The conservation pool elevation is 1,183 MSL, if that means anything.
Doesn't mean much to me. I know that the lake is low. It doesn't say how many feet low, does it, on their website there? Texas
well, I'm looking
Parks.
at it now. They're 74.7% full as of 8/8/22.
Yeah, so 77% full. So that's it's almost 25% low. But it's still it's a big lake, big lake. A lot of places to fish, and I think they've been biting well there. It's our first tournament at Hubbard Creek this year, and so I'm looking forward to, even though I'm only fishing one day, I'm still excited about that and hoping my plans don't get changed on me and I don't get to go. But right now I'm planning on going.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to change your plans.
You're not going to change them.
No.
But something or someone else might. You never know. So I'm going to hope that I get to go. I'm planning on going.
Yeah, that's it's like the engineers I'm trying to get over from Lubbock. And the first week I didn't know what the first week the excuse was is that one of them had spent all day working for another radio group.
Okay.
In Lubbock. And so they weren't going to be able to come over. And then last week, something about a dead water heater.
That's why they couldn't come?
That's why they couldn't come, because one of them couldn't. Yeah, well, the one doesn't drive. The other one drives.
I see.
And so
the one that drives had a dead water heater.
The one that drives has a dead water heater. And I'm like, so?
I don't care if you don't have hot water at your house. Come fix my stuff.
Were you listening to the
Gene Dow.
conversation? That's almost
Quote,
word,
Gene Dow.
almost word for word.
I just know you. I've gotten to know you over the years. I could imagine that might be what you said.
Are you sure? Because it would be great if you could come over and fix it and say, well, I haven't had a hot shower in 3 days. I'm getting a hot shower this weekend. So maybe this weekend they'll be coming over.
Oh, good.
So anyway, but like you say, you never know when stuff pops up and what you're going to be doing.
Right. And so you plan things, and so my plans are to be there, leave Friday afternoon, and come back Saturday night. So that's my plans.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Now I did get our leaderboard updated.
All right.
And I think Jeff has that pulled up on our Facebook page. It's on our website as well, but I thought it'd be easy to just pull it up on our Facebook page. And there it is.
Yeah.
If you're watching online, you can see that. Now, one thing I couldn't figure out, as I said, I've been working since early this morning and working on multiple things, it seems like, all at once. Obviously, I'm not. But anyway, I gave up on this morning because I had too many other things to do. I went to put in the formula that will calculate, because we're going to take, since we upped our number of tournaments kind of midstream this year by adding 4 additional tournaments with Brantley on Sundays for our team tournaments. We're going to do our top 12 tournaments points for our Angler of the Year and our Co-Angler of the Year, Non-Boater of the Year. And there's a way to put a formula in an Excel spreadsheet, and as you see there, I took a picture of it, screenshot, and put it on our Facebook page and put it on our website. But our current leaderboard through July, as it stands there, those point totals are their entire year. So Jerry Houghtaling on top of the boater side with 44.63, and then the next one is 1,200, almost 1,200 points away in Mike Hill. But that's because Jerry's fished more tournaments. That's my dad. Same thing on the other side. You see there's a drop off after number 2. So Lex Klein leading in the non-boater side with Catherine Martinez in second, and then a kind of a drop there of 600 points or so to Lisa, and then another drop, and then another drop, and then toward the bottom it gets real big drops. And same thing on the boater side. But I'll figure that formula out. I went in, I put it in the way I know how, and it came up with one of those little error deals in my what do you call it, in my slot there, and so I clicked on it to see what was going on, and it said, and this is really going to speak badly of me, I think. It said 2007 Excel not supported any longer.
Oh no.
And I don't know what that meant. I mean, I put in formulas all the time on the Excel that I have, which I guess is 2007 on my computer. And they all work, but that one didn't want to. And it's a kind of a complicated formula because I'm telling it to pick the top 12 out of these 19 available. Anyway, it didn't work, but I'll figure that out because at the end of the year it'll be based on those 12, their best 12. So people that didn't fish, we still have 4 left. So there may be some people out there with 8 tournaments, so they'll get 4 more chances here to get their 12. I'm not one of those. Let's see, I'm down. I'm in 7th right now. I've only fished 5 tournaments now, I think. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
what's interesting is that, like, on the boater side, the distance between number 2 Mike Hill and number 3 Mark Williver is less than.
That's real close.
It's real close, 79, 80. It's about 15 points difference between those two, between second and third. So that's pretty competitive right there.
Yeah, and if you back down the number of tournaments on Jerry there at the top to be equivalent to Mike and Mark, because Mike and Mark have both fished the same number of tournaments, which I think they've probably fished 11 or so.
So when you get the formula to work, which you will, then you just take, those are the total points for the whole year, but you're just going to take
their top 12.
Their top 12. So
yes,
will that,
largest
do you
top 12,
anticipate that narrowing it up a little bit?
Oh, it'll narrow it up considerably. Anybody that's fished 12 tournaments, it'll be a lot closer than what, Jerry's ahead of Mike right there. In fact, those top 3 will be pretty close. David Rutherford will be close. I don't know, Chris True, who is next there, I don't know if he fishes all 4 tournaments, I don't think that'll get him 12. So really, it's between those top 1, 2, 3, 4. If they all fish the remaining 4 tournaments, which those top 4 probably will, Jerry, Mike, Mark, and David, then they'll be the ones in the running on the boater side, because they'll all have 12 tournaments, and it'll be a tight race to the end. On the other side, Lex, Catherine, Lisa, Kelly, again, Jeff Heath. I don't know if they can, I think Lex, probably the top 3 there, maybe the top 4. Kelly, if he fishes 4 more, I didn't look at their individual numbers that they'd fished, but those top 4 over there if they all 4 fish the final 4 tournaments, then they may very well be there as well. One thing that's happened more this year than any years that I can remember since I've been fishing is we've had several people fish as boaters and as non-boaters quite a bit. I'm one of those. I have fished more as a non-boater than I have a boater, but I left myself on the boater side today just for expedient purposes. I was trying to get these things done, and I'm going to have to go back and look, because what we've done in the past, we have had it happen where 1 or 2 fished both sides. This year we've had several, and what we're going to do is use me as the example. If I fish 12 tournaments and 8 of them were as a non-boater, then I'll be a non-boater. The more, whichever is more, is where I'm going to put the angler, either on the non-boater or the boater side. For example, Lex fished a few tournaments as a boater, but I know he's fished more as a non-boater, and he was already on the non-boater side, so I left him there. He's an example of that too. So Lex, myself, my son, my dad. I'm looking down the list. There's been several that have fished both ways. Lee Johnson fished as a non-boater for the first time this year, so he'll probably stay as a boater, obviously. But as I just look down the list there. But anyhow, that's our leaderboard through July. We have 4 more tournaments. As I said, we fish at Hubbard Creek this weekend, and then we fish at the end of the month at Brantley. And I'm looking forward to all 4 of those tournaments. And then we'll fish our championship right now is tentatively scheduled September, and I think it's 17th and 18th. That always has a chance to be moved. We do our best to. I mean, at the beginning of the year we set a date, but toward the end of the year, depending on who all has fished and who all says yes, I could fish the championship, we'll look at that date again, and we also vote on a lake, and we'll probably be our top 3 lakes this year in terms of quantity and quality. Is usually what I do. I'll work with David Rutherford. I've been the tournament director the last few years, but David now is our tournament director. But I'll talk to him, and ultimately he'll make the decision on what 3 lakes as the tournament director. Then we'll vote, and our championship will be wherever the club votes it to be. But with the number of members we have that have fished, there's 34 there on our 2 lists. So that have scored points, and so what we've done in years past is if you have fished, then we take the top 10 non-boaters and the top 10 boaters. And I really think that we might be able to get a full field this year, which will be the first time in several years that we've had full field fish. And I'm really leaning, and I don't know how the club will vote. I have no idea, but I think Brantley is going to be one of our options because it has fished so strong for us. It's actually been our best lake this year. In terms of both quantity and quality.
Quality of fish.
Overall quality.
Yeah.
Now, we've had some big fish caught. Just last weekend, you might remember last week, we had a Fort Phantom Hill couple tournaments. We caught some big fish, 6 and 7 pounders, several 4 and 5 pounders. But Brantley is fishing so well, and it's right here. And I'm thinking that, and who knows how the club will vote, but I'm thinking that Brantley will be one of the 3 we vote on. And so there's a lot of pros to that because it's here.
Right, a lot less
don't have to travel
expense on travel.
You don't have to stay a night somewhere. Even the guys that are in Lee County, Chaves County, they still can go home, sleep in their own bed. So a lot less expense, a lot less travel. You don't have to drive so far. And that's what I would like to see. If the lake still has water in it, obviously that's going to be the first thing.
Well, I tell you, Joby, this drought has really affected so much of the country.
Yeah.
It's not just... I mean, we've kind of been in a perpetual drought for
years,
for a long time, but now you're seeing it in California. Lake Mead is almost gone. They're finding more bodies in the bottom of Lake Mead.
Yeah.
There's a YouTuber I watch who's up in Maine and
they're
New
in drought.
Hampshire, and they're very much in a drought. Rivers and streams that normally run are practically gone, and so there's so many parts of the country that are affected by this. Now, I have my conspiracy theory. I think the Russians and the Chinese are manipulating the weather, but that's for Clyde Lewis to talk about.
I'm almost a full-blown conspiracy theorist now after last 3 years.
I know
It's hard
crazy.
not to be because of things that we've been seeing happen. But
yeah, but when it gets lakes are low like this, like you're going to the Breckenridge this weekend, does that change how you fish for the bass? Does that change what you use to catch the bass?
Well, it can. It depends on what it looks like where it's low. I mean, generally speaking, we're going to fish shorelines most tournaments. There are going to be humps and grass lines and things like that out in lakes. And Hubbard Creek is one of the lakes that we fish that a lot of times had big grass growth. There would be grass mats all the way up to the top of the water, and fishing those grass lines and fishing those pockets. But I'll say this, I don't know if it was last year, year before, maybe 3 years ago, I don't know, and somebody that knows may text and tell me, but the folks that live around Hubbard Creek boated or did something, and they wanted to kill back that grass, and they put some herbicide in the water and really killed back the grass that was growing, and probably skiers and jet skiers and things like that wanted it gone as well. For anglers, for fishermen, we like it. Yeah, we really like that grass, especially when it gets up top. But it's still fishable with good equipment. You can still find it on our fish finders, on our equipment. But with Hubbard Creek, the shoreline's rock. Normally there's a lot of cattails. I don't know what the cattail situation looked like with down 25% or so. The tree lines, obviously, when the water's down that far, it's different, because where the tree line normally is, probably not going to be any trees unless they were underwater. It can change how you're fishing. It definitely can change up maybe areas you have fished before that were really good, and you go now and it's 25% low, and those are out of water. We talked about that last week. Yeah, a little bit here on the show, but it definitely can change how you fish. Yes.
The last Hubbard Creek fishing report posted on their website was August 3rd.
So last week.
Good is what they said, big cap letters. Water stained, 83 degrees, 5.4 feet low.
So it's only 5 feet down.
80. White bass are excellent relating to structure in 15 to 25 feet of water or chasing shad in open water. Look for schools surfacing in the morning and evenings. Bladed baits and mal lures are deadly. What does that mean?
For the white bass.
Okay. And that was reported by Clayton Losey, Respect the Fish Guide Service.
There you go. So he's talking about white bass. I don't care if I see a white bass.
Is that right?
We don't weigh those. They're not part of our of anglers, bass fishermen's weight. It's not what. So we'll weigh in smallmouth, largemouth, and spotted bass.
Okay.
And so white bass, they're fun because when they start, like he said, they start hitting the top of the water. It's just, if you just like to catch fish, and sometimes if it's really slow and I've come up on some hitting the water, I'll catch them for a little while just because it's so much fun. Yeah. To catch fish, but. So there's no report about the largemouth, nothing there, just that smallmouth. I mean the white bass.
Yeah, just on.
Well, I've been told, or I've heard that the largemouth are really biting, so I'm looking forward to them. It's been a great lake for us in the past. 3 or 4 years ago, the first time we fished there, we had a team tournament there, and I don't remember 3 or 4 or 5 years ago, however long it's been. First time I'd ever been there, and the team tournament was a 2-day, the way we used to do it. And every team caught the fish. It was crazy. It was the best tournament I had ever been involved in, where I think we had 10 teams there. Everybody weighed in big bags both days. So it was a lot of fun. So I like Hubbard Creek. Yeah.
So if you have any questions, if you want to go fish in this tournament, or you're hadn't got your email yet, just get a hold of Joby and get ready to go this weekend to Hubbard Creek. And good luck with the fishing this weekend.
Yep. Looking forward to it.
And we'll have pictures and results next week.
Monday. That's the plan.
All right. Thank you, Joby.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. Thank you for listening, folks. We